Hello, Platinum God Games, back with another Skull and Bones tutorial. I'm a Ubisoft partnered creator and Twitch streamer, so check the description below for all my social links, including my Twitch channel and live times. Please also don't forget to hit that subscribe button and check the bell alert here on YouTube so you get notified when new tutorials and videos go live. Now, the purpose of this video is to share with you my method for defeating the Azure Royale boss ship. We have had the return of the Azure Solstice, which was a previous world special event. It has returned to us in the final weeks of Season 4. So I have an all new Garuda build I call the Azure Melter, and I'm going to share that with you. Now don't worry, you can actually beat this ship in other ships as well, but this one is OP. And if you're like me and end up stuck in servers with only a few people in it, or everyone's busy or not doing the event at that time, or they've done it enough and they don't want to do it anymore and you do, this is how you could solo it. So I will be sharing that with you. First we're going to go and get straight into the boss itself. Now in this particular instance it took me about 4 minutes to defeat the boss. We got interrupted by a convoy that was passing by. However, you can do it in about 2.5 minutes on your own. There's really only one moment where he opens up his big guns and you kind of need to run for that, or you need a different kind of build as opposed to this one so he doesn't just absolutely shred you. Now this method also works for the Azure Royale, which is also known in the contracts as the Symphony Mortelle. It's a compagnie ship and is currently in the game as well, at the top of the map and in varying locations at the bottom of the map. Now this guy has a shield around his ship. You need fire weapons to remove this shield. It is an ice ship that usually comes with an ice convoy. Now I have a separate video regarding the convoys and a special sandbuck build to share with you all as well, so that if you don't have the same weapons that I have here, you can use the sandbuck until you do. Now I'm not going to go into the same detail as I go into with my lightning build, but I will be sharing with you the weapons, armor and furniture and where you can get them. You remove his shield and just keep going for those weak points. You can get up close in the early stages. He will only shoot tearing culverins at you. Then later he will use like Mons Meg bombards on you. However, if you use the bitter ball and food, you can make the most of crew attacks should you wish to stay up close. The bitter ball gives 15% bonus damage. He usually doesn't go into his heavy attacks until he's about 1/5 of health, so generally you are safe. However, the Garuda does do most of its big damage from distance, so in this particular ship you really want to maintain distance away from any target whatsoever. It helps if you can learn where the weak points are of each individual ship. And the Corvette, they're usually in the same locations, on the rear, on the sides at the rear, and at the front of the ship as well. Now you'll listen out for a certain sound that he makes and the smoke that comes from his ship. And as I said, when you get down to about 1/5 of his health left, that is when he will trigger this attack. And it's basically a last ditch attempt to sink you before he gets sunk. There's the smoke, be aware of the wind, turn and run. He will cut you down so fast with those long guns. Now we run into the convoy that was passing through. Now unfortunately, because this convoy got in the way, his shield has regenerated, so we have to remove that again, otherwise he probably would have been finished. So same process, keep shooting fire weapons at him, drop a mortar on him, and finish him off. Now he does another smoke attack here, but he wasn't shooting his long guns. If he hits you with those long guns, 3 or 4 hits and your brace and full health is gone. It just carves through you like a hot knife through butter. He's trying to take out my sails again with tearing culverins. Now if you do run away from these bosses, they will return to a central point where they're anchored to. They won't chase you all around the map. So use that to your advantage. Sail away from them. Eventually they will turn back and head back to the center point where they're anchored. Then, especially with these corvettes and other ships that have the weak points at the back, they really expose themselves when they do. This works also on Vanderkill. And there we go. He's done. Now, I'm also going to take you, in this video, I'm going to take you through what you get as rewards for defeating him. And we're going to look at what to buy in the shop in the Azurite Stone in St. Anne. A lot of people ask me on my stream and in the Reddit forums, what's the best thing to buy? And that totally depends on where you are in the game and what's useful to you. If you're fairly new, there's lots of stuff you can buy and you want to farm this event as much as possible. Whereas if you've been here for a while, then you might want to save money in other areas, and I can show you exactly how. So these events give you a lot of refined specialized materials, and the chests themselves contain a lot of those materials, as well as Azurite Gems and pieces of 8. Now if you listen close,
a gift, eh? Give it to the right person and you might get something in return.
now Asna gave us a big clue there about another item we received in that loot. So now we're in St. Anne, and that is where you will find the Azurite Stone. I'm going to show you where that is, but first we're going to show you exactly where to take all of these gifts. What gifts, you might be asking? Well, we picked up some soothing balm in that last effort. There are 4 different types of gifts here. There is the rose water, there is soothing balm, there is a ship in a bottle, and there's some dice, luxury dice. And each one of them has to go to a specific person. Now, these people are the same in St. Anne or Telok. However, we came to St. Anne because that's where the Azurite Stone shop is. Now, go and see William Blackwood, because he wants the dice. So just ignore the heads and the Huback components. Now, I do a little trick here. I max and then 1 under, so that I keep one of them in the warehouse so it maintains a spot. Now what we're going to do is back out and go into the cargo, and we're going to open some of these gifts. They give you chests in return, which is awesome. A gift in return chest. These will really help you whether you're new to the game, returning to the game after not playing for a while, an intermediate time player, or even people that have been here long term. These are really helpful. And even if you don't need them right away, all the chests are the same that you get from each person that you give a gift to, so you can just slap them in the warehouse and they take up only 1 slot. Now look at all of those specialized materials, refined specialized materials that we got from opening those chests. So now we're off to go and see Skurlock. Same thing here. Skurlock wants the ship in a bottle, so don't give all of them to him. In this case, I'll max it, 1 less, so I give him 3 of the 4. And usually I'll just pop them straight back into the warehouse and I'll keep moving. Now I'm going to open this chest here. You'll see that it's basically the same thing. There's a mixture of different items that we'll get. This one has wood pitch and sinew string, and we got an upgrade part, which is awesome. The drop rate on the upgrade parts is very small. It might be something like 1%. However, still, upgrade parts are pretty much the most expensive thing in the game, so they always come in handy. Now we're off to go and see the blacksmith and give him some soothing balm. Who else would want the soothing balm, right? Besides someone who burns themselves a lot. So I popped them in the warehouse, and last but certainly not least, we're off to go and see Yanita in the black market because she wants the rose water. Now, if you're in Telok Penjarah, again the same people, Blackwood, the blacksmith, the Kingpin Rama, and Huma, Yanita's sister, in the black market. They will take those items there as well.
Fair win, friend.
Now, although the amount of pieces of 8 you get from this chest is not a lot, you do get a lot of refined specialized materials. Now, they come in really handy for upgrading ships. These items only get farmed from sort of natural locations in the game in small amounts, or in reasonable amounts from doing convoys and stuff. So when you get this as an added bonus, it is so sweet. Like Sinew String, you get between 1 and 3 for defeating Fangs of the Pharaoh, or going and plundering the capital of the Pharaoh people. I forget the name, don't ask me now. It's like Anamana Kanamahona or something like that. So, you get them in very small amounts. Now, the Azure cash is from the Azure convoys, which, as I said, I've got another video about that. But I'm going to open some chests now because I want to talk about the Azurite Stone shop. So, like all of the events in Skull and Bones, there's usually a special currency and a special place where you can spend that currency. In this event, it is Azurite Gem. And there are lots of these specialized materials and stuff as well that you can buy, amongst other things. Now, the Azure Strongbox actually gives you the most amounts of pieces of 8. So if you're going to save anything for the next season, save the Azure Strongbox. However, the Azure Strongbox also comes with the weapon. Now that's the Nashkar, which is actually what I have on the build you saw me destroy the ship in. I have that on all 4 sides, but because I did this event when it originally came into the game, I have lots of those weapons. You can buy these weapons as well. What I do recommend though is if you don't have any of that, you can use the Sambuck to actually defeat him using fire long guns, using a Leopold 3 mortar. There's other ship builds that you can use. It may take a little longer, you may have to strategize a little more, lots more running away, that sort of thing, and then follow after him. But it can be done. Now we're off to the Azurite Stone. There we go, the Azurite Lodestone. Here's where it's located within Sinan. I'll show you where it is on the map. In relation to the dock more specifically. So you can basically run straight past William Blackwood and past the atelier where you get the clothing and turn right, and here it is. Now, there's many different items including upgrade parts that you can buy. Now, during the Halloween events, I purchased a lot of upgrade parts. Almost all of my ships, I think there's only 5 ships that are only level 12. All of my ships in my fleet are now level 613 because of these events. So farm them and buy upgrade parts if you're still building your fleet and you want to build ships like the different builds that I show you in my videos. So you've always got a plethora of upgrade parts. However, the high velocity kegs are important to have here because it is part of the build. There's other items that you may not have the blueprint for, so you can purchase them. Now, the upgraded rogue materials take an hour to fabricate, to refine in the refinery, so they could be worth your while. These drinks were originally part of a summer event, and they're not really worth anything these days. They used to go for half an hour, the timer. Now they're 20 seconds, so I would not bother. And the food can be good because this is replacing or in place of the previous event's food as well, where it gives you a 5% reload buff. Now, what I actually buy is the Artisan Refinement packs. So when you get cosmetics, there's certain things like the ship ornament on the front, right? So the ship ornaments, especially when they're reactive, make a sound or, you know, emit fire, ice, whatever. Now, this is glitching out. It has been all season. But you see a little paintbrush there. These ones can be upgraded. Now, these upgrades cost you real money in the store. If you go and buy the ship ornament, there's 2 extra purchases of gold at 800 each to upgrade each level. However, with these Artisan Refinement packs, you can actually upgrade them using only that and a few other refined items. Only in-game items, so it won't cost you physical money. So I go ahead here and I purchase one, just to show you the upgrade purpose. I'm like, nah, I don't want the eye with the wings. It looks cool. But I'm gonna go with the dragon. Now, I want to give a big shout out to Ubisoft here for actually giving you the option. They didn't have to add these into the game, right? They could have just made you pay real money for it. 1,600 for the upgrades. That's a decent amount of gold. So, big shout out to them, because it's not actually that expensive in the game if you play for a little bit to get the naphtha, the lime, the casting sand, and the Artisan Refinement packs. So, this is what I recommend you buy from the Azurite Lodestone. Depending on where you are in the game, but that's why you see I have 92 of them. Well, not anymore. You see, one's 800 to upgrade, the other was 1,600 in total, but I think it's offering you both at the same time, both upgrades. So there we go. Now we've got it fully upgraded with 0 cost. Now we need to get into the part that I know you've been waiting for, and that is my ship build. So here is my ship build. As I said, I'm not going to go into the same detail as the lightning build. If you do wish to see how much it costs to purchase an upgrade to level 6 a Garuda, you can check out my other video. I'll pop the link in the description below. As you can see from previously doing this event, I have all Nashkar long guns around the sides and the front, and I have the Crouching Tiger as my auxiliary weapon, which gives a lot of burning damage. Now, as far as armor goes, you can use whatever you want for this event. You generally don't get interrupted by other enemies. However, the Buccaneer's Oath is great if you want to destroy some other enemies that are surrounding the area and get your 30-second bonus of 25%. The furniture, I always have the scoping station on the Garudas. That's available at the Carpenter. Now, the quick igniting powder should be available in the Carpenter as well. A lot of these blueprints you will find with John Skurlock or with Rama, and you might find various blueprints in the black market. The secret cache, however, is William Blackwood, and you have to wait for that to come back into rotation. The Devil's Concoction is also with the Carpenter. And the high velocity kegs are on sale in the Azurite Lodestone. So make the most of that and grab a set while you can. Lapatent schematics you can craft if you have the blueprint with the Carpenter. Otherwise, William Blackwood does sell them in rotation. Now keep an eye on the timers with William Blackwood, because these rotate sometimes weekly, sometimes fortnightly. See, the timer there says 6 days. These have only just changed, and unfortunately there's nothing that we're looking for at this moment in time in William Blackwood's shop. Now, something worth noting here is that William Blackwood does from time to time sell the blueprints for Lapotent schematics, so you should be able to purchase that with him. All of these blueprints are available at any given time somewhere in the map, usually in the black market if they're from a previous season. If they're base game blueprints, you can go and try the Carpenter, you can try the Blacksmith, try people at outposts, merchants in different islands, different locations in the game. Now these ones are all available in Skurlock's shop, all of those blue ones. Some of them are available in the black market as well, like the front powder kegs, things like that. The scoping station there, I think you can buy that blueprint from this Carpenter here if you don't have it. Now, I highly recommend buying every single blueprint that you come across, because you never know when you might need to craft that particular item. Also, if you don't have access to the blueprints or the exact furniture that I'm using, just try and choose something to do with the long guns, something to do with the Garuda, like the front powder kegs or port and starboard powder kegs. Again, those blueprints are available in the black market. There's always other furniture that you can substitute it with. And don't forget, here at the Azurite Lodestone, you can get the high velocity powder kegs. They will definitely help. For example, a lot of these work really well on the sandbuck. The volatile fuel, the gunpowder bench, the front powder kegs, port and starboard powder kegs. They will all help you destroy this Azure boss. Now, as a bit of a bonus at the end here, it's in 300 times, but this is me and one other random person in the server with me taking on the Azure Royale. In a minute and a half we destroyed it. So I hope you found the video helpful. If you have any questions, please pop them in the comments below. Is there anything in the game you'd like to see a tutorial on? Again, let me know in the comments. I also stream live on Twitch. Check the description below for live times. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and check the bell alert so you know when new videos go live. I'm Platinum God Games. Until next time, game like a god.